I have an important message for you regarding today's video, and I'm not sure what happened, and I think I need your help. So what went down is this. This morning, it's about 9 o'clock right now, I published this video that you're about to watch at 8 a.m. Now, when we publish a video, it doesn't matter what time of day it is. Normally, we stick to a schedule, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday at 8 a.m. This morning, I was right on time, 8 a.m., the video published. And I was down here splitting some firewood, and I always take a break, check the comments, answer a few comments. And I noticed it was about 8:30 and the video had like 1,500 views, and I knew something was wrong. It doesn't matter when we upload, what day, what the video is, we always see a minimum, a bare minimum, 5,000 to 6,000 views in the first half hour. I thought, well, that's weird. And so I got to checking. There were hardly any comments at all. It was like you guys that are subscribers weren't being shown the video. I have no idea why. I don't think it was anything nefarious. I think it was just a glitch. I've seen it happen once or twice before. So I thought to myself, what should I do here? A lot of people are going to be confused because they're not seeing the video when I normally upload the video. So I thought it would be best to pull the video down and publish it again at 3 p.m. with an explanation of what happened, which is what I'm doing now. Now, here's where I need your help. I'm also getting a lot of emails and comments from people saying that they have been unsubscribed. I have no idea why they do that. That is a real thing. So if you are a subscriber to our channel, please check, make sure that you are. Hit the notification bell, and hopefully you will be notified when we upload a video. And I hardly ever say this, but hit that like button, leave a comment, and we'll try to figure out what's going on here. I have no idea, but today's video is a good video. I hope you enjoy it. We have some big news to share and some not so good news about Hunter that actually worked out pretty good. Enjoy today's video. So welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. It's been a long time since I did that, but it is an absolutely beautiful day today. Much, much nicer than it was yesterday. We had a bad day yesterday. I'll get into that in a minute. But it rained from about 5 o'clock in the morning till about 10 o'clock at night, on and off. Probably had an inch of rain. It was just a miserable day. But that was actually the least of our problems. Hunter had another seizure yesterday, and it was kind of late in the day for him. Normally, when he has one, it's first thing in the morning. Yesterday, it was about 1:30 in the afternoon, and he hasn't had one now for probably a year and a half. But the good news was it happened. He was laying in his bed, so he didn't get injured. He didn't fall down or anything like that or hit his head on anything. But they are a hard thing to witness. I'm sure that's even worse if you're the victim. But it's a full-blown grand mal seizure, and he's as tough as nails. He is. After it was over and things calmed down, he just took a nap for about 2 hours. And he was as good as new after that. But hopefully it's not a cluster of seizures. That has happened before where, he'll have one day and then maybe 2 days later have another one and might have 3 or 4 of them in a week and a half. And other times he'll have one and it might be a year and a half or 2 years before he has another. So we'll have to see what happens. But like I said, everything's good now. He's doing well. And it's crazy. He goes through all that, sleeps for 2 hours, and it's just like nothing ever happened. It's crazy. Oh, I almost forgot. I have to tell you who the real hero was yesterday, believe it or not. When Hunter had his seizure, like I said, he was in his bedroom. The door was closed. It wasn't closed tight. And you'll never guess who alerted us that Hunter was having a seizure. Axel, our youngest golden retriever. Now, it may have just been luck. I have no idea. But Axel had just kind of ran into his room, which opened the door, and I could hear something going on, and I was the first one in there. So I don't know. But I think Archie's a little upset that it wasn't him that saved the day, but we have to give credit to Axel for this one. He's a wild one. He has tons of energy. We joke that his heart's much bigger than his brain, but yeah, he let us know. Like I said, it could have been an accident, but I still have to give him credit for alerting me that Hunter was having a seizure. So shout out to Axel. But anyway, we're down at the Sawmill here today. We've got a red oak log on here now. This came from over at the neighbors just the other day. This is probably the 3rd or 4th log up the tree. I think it's the 4th. Yeah, and we're going to saw this into stickers for, stacking and stickering lumber to air dry. What I've been doing, I've been stacking the stickers in the building in a crisscross pattern just to allow for some airflow for them to start drying. And probably within a month or so, they'll be ready to use. They're not going to be dry completely all the way through, but the outsides will be dry enough that I don't have to worry about sticker stain. So that's the plan for this log. Yeah, looking at it now, I think that is the 4th log going up the tree. This is all from one tree right here. That's a walnut right there, but this is the butt log right here. This would have been the 2nd one, 3rd one, 4th one is on the mill. Now, as soon as it dries up, or freezes up, one of the two, I need to go back over there because they took another one down. It was just massive. When I first looked at it, I thought it might be around 28 inches. It's probably 30 or 32 inches, straight as an arrow. Really, really nice tree. That one will go all to lumber. I won't saw any stickers out of that. But we're going to fire up the mill and get started. I need a lot of stickers. We are really gearing up, and I've decided to make a major investment. We'll get this log sawed up real quick, then we'll go over the master plan. And I took the first step just the other day to implement this plan. I'm pretty excited about it. cranked out quite a few stickers there in a hurry. That log was 8 feet, about 8 feet 3 inches long. My stickers are going to be 4 feet long, so out of each one I'll get 2, and I had 8 boards across there, so each cut you're basically getting 16 1-inch by 1-inch stickers. All right, Melissa just came down. Nice day, isn't it?
Beautiful.
A lot nicer than yesterday.
It is.
I told them about Hunter earlier. Levi's up there with him right now, but we're keeping a pretty close eye on him.
Yeah.
A lot of stickers there, huh?
There are a lot of stickers.
So what I do with these, then I'll take them up to the building, and I can fit like 8 or 10. I got a big slide compound miter saw. Yeah, I think it's 10 at a time, and then I can cut them to length down to 4 feet.
Okay.
They're all perfect. 1 inch by 1 inch.
Woo. Okay.
I don't even know how many's there. A lot.
Yeah.
When I was telling them, when you have 8 boards up there, each pass is basically 16 stickers. You know what I mean? Because you cut them in half.
Right. Yeah.
All right, so the first part of this video that you just watched was from yesterday when we were down at the Sawmill, and I told you that we were going to talk about a big investment that we were going to make, and that's what we're going to do right now. It's real windy outside. I was just down at the wood yard cutting some firewood, so I figured I'd come in here. It would be a little bit easier on the audio if I was indoors. And by the way, it is cooking in here. This morning, it was probably 12 or 13 degrees out, and I got a fire ripping and roaring in the wood stove, and I've put wood on it a couple times throughout the day, and I should have backed off because it's up to about, I don't know, 45 degrees or something outside, and I think tomorrow is going to hit 60. So it's been up and down quite a bit, but spring is definitely on its way. But anyway, enough about all that. If you noticed, if you watch our videos, you know we've got this whole wood thing pretty well covered, but there has been a missing link. We produce a lot of firewood. We saw lumber on the Wood-Mizer sawmill. We are now selling slabs through our friend Chris Martin. He has the iDry kiln, but there's a lot of other things that we could be doing. And the one thing that we've been missing is our own kiln. And that's what we just ordered the other day. It's a pretty big investment, and the thing is, sometimes I struggle spending money on a dedicated piece of equipment, meaning that's all it's going to do is dry wood. However, I think for us, it's time. Chris will continue to dry like our real thick slabs and things like that, and he does a great job, and he's got the slab flattener, and he can take care of all that kind of stuff. But the fact of the matter is, we can saw in one day what it takes him to dry with his kiln in 3 weeks to a month. You know what I'm saying? Plus, he has his own wood and his own customers, and so we would just like to be able to expand that capability some. Not only to dry lumber, which we will focus on like 4/4, 6/4, 8/4, nothing too thick, but also to dry firewood, not bulk firewood, but firewood for like, you know, the pizza ovens, the little solo stoves, the tiny little ones. There's just a lot of different things that we can expand into, but you know, you can't ship firewood, like little firewood, if it's not kiln dried. And that's one of the things we wanted to be able to do. So I think having our own kiln, we will be running this thing literally 24/7, 365 with either firewood or lumber. And we'll go over exactly what it is and all that when it arrives, which will be in about 4 to 6 weeks. And we can set it up with a shipping container, or we could build its own designated chamber, which isn't a big deal either. So it's something we're going to get working on real quick. But it'll dry probably around 3,000 board feet of lumber at a time. And that's a lot of lumber and a lot of firewood as well. And I'm really excited about it. But like I said, this is a dedicated piece of equipment. You know, a lot of times I'll see comments from people, you know, about you bought an expensive excavator to cut firewood. That's not all that machine is used for. You can use the excavator for 100 different things. Same with the skid loader. The sawmill, obviously, it's a dedicated machine. Log splitter, it is as well. And the kiln will be another one. Normally, I like to buy things that can be used for a variety of things, but we're going to be pretty well set up in the wood business. We are. We're going to get into shipping pizza wood. I've been kind of doing a market study on that, looking at all the different sellers online, what they offer, how much they sell it for compared to, you know, a board foot per price of lumber. In other words, you know, you're taking good, say, white oak. What's it worth as lumber? What is it going to be worth cutting and splitting it into tiny little pieces of firewood? Trying to figure out labor costs, all that kind of stuff. But I think it's going to be worth doing. And but we definitely need a kiln, and we have needed one for a long time. Melissa is actually the one that has been pushing me for a long time in that direction. I see it as we got a whole bunch of other things going on, but really, once you get the product in the kiln, there's not a whole lot to do. You know what I mean? So that'll just, it's one more step in the process, you know? So I'm pretty excited about it. And then the next thing after that, you know, the goal here is to have another building, not like this one, but just kind of a bare bones building, but both heated and cooled, that we could store kiln dried lumber in. So, you know, you always need more space, but if you have kiln dried lumber, you don't want to go through all that trouble and leave it stacked outside somewhere. And we will start to sell more lumber. We've been doing a lot of that as it is. Start selling more of it, but I'd like to just keep building an inventory. I talk about this all the time. You have no idea how long, nobody does, all this lasts with YouTube and all that. And we went from, you know, I went from a firewood guy to a guy, I went from a firewood guy that does YouTube to a YouTube guy that does firewood. Now it's starting to kind of go the other way again, because we're doing pretty well, you know, selling wood, whether it be firewood or lumber. But I just want to build a big inventory, and it's kind of like money in the bank, you know, whether it be firewood or a huge building filled with nice kiln dried lumber. And we're not going to fool with any lower grade stuff at all. It'll be all good quality hardwoods. And like I said, just build an inventory, and you'll always have that there. It's kind of like money in the bank, and we'll sell throughout the years, but at some point, who knows, maybe we'll just sell lumber, keep adding to it, or maybe just sell firewood. I kind of just go with where my time is best utilized is what I like to do. And at this point in my life, what I like to do. For years, I did what I had to do, and now I'm kind of steered by what is the best use of my time, and, you know, what's the most beneficial for myself and my family. I had to laugh the other day. I was out there working in the clearing, and I have this big brush pile, and I've got a bunch of stumps piled on it. And usually I know what some of the comments are going to be, and sure enough, I wasn't wrong. A lot of people literally get worked up about seeing firewood in that brush pile, knowing that I'm going to burn it up, and how I'm wasting that wood. That's good firewood, and why would you do that? There's a lot of different reasons. Number one, it's fuel to get those stumps burned up. You know, I can't just pile up a bunch of stumps and hope to burn them up. But more importantly, I have learned over the years to try my best to best utilize my time. We all only have so much of it. And one of the comments was about me wasting wood. And he said something like, when you didn't have two nickels to rub together, you would never have left that wood in the burn pile, or whatever, is what he was implying. And I said, that is correct. And it's because that's why I didn't have two nickels to rub together. I was too focused on the little stuff, and I was chasing my tail, always running in circles, trying to get things done, trying to make a living, trying to provide for my family, and I wasn't making the best use of my time. Once I started to figure that out, things just kept, you get traction then. I remember years ago, I used to plow snow like commercially. I did a Lowe's store all by myself. And at the time, looking at it, you're thinking, boy, I'm doing pretty good at this. But at the end of that season, you start adding up what you spent on salt. You got a bunch of equipment that needed repaired that you beat on all winter long. You really didn't make any money. And you spent all this time in the middle of the night, the middle of the day, whenever it snowed or you had ice, you're up there running around like crazy, literally and figuratively just spinning your wheels. You know what I mean? So that is one of the things that I tried to do, is just prioritize and use my time to the fullest. And I think I thought of that once I read those comments about that firewood. If you go out there and you're cutting every little piece like this, yep, it's good wood, burns good, you don't have to split it, but you're just not making enough product running around whacking up little limbs and stacking them up. It's just not worth the time. If you didn't have anything else to do, it would absolutely be worth the time. But I have found that there are other things that I like to do that are more beneficial, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of rambling on now, but I'll kind of give you all this in a nutshell. Coming up soon is a new kiln for drying lumber, drying firewood. We're going to get into other types of firewood, more specialty stuff, smaller quantities of firewood. And that's another thing when it comes to firewood. The smaller the quantity, the more that you make per cord, but it's more labor involved, more time involved. You just have to find a good way to streamline all that and produce as much as you can in the least amount of time. And I enjoy all that kind of stuff. I like just trying to find a little bit better ways to do things that work for us. And then another building, and I don't know where we're going to put it, to tell you the truth. We got a lot of hills and a lot of valleys around here, and it's not going out in the new clearing. At least I'm 99% sure that's not where it's going. It would be a fantastic spot for it, don't get me wrong, but two reasons. Number one, probably going to cost $50,000 at least to get electricity back there. And number two, I don't really want to screw that area up right now. And not saying a building would screw it up. We could make everything real nice, but it's just a nice place to go to get away from all the other things. It's a nice place to hunt, to see the wildlife. Would like to plant some fruit trees, have a nice food plot. Who knows? I don't know, but I need to find a place to put another building, and we can move some dirt, that's for sure. But I have been literally walking all over the place trying to find a good place where everything will flow nicely. Like coming from the sawmill up here or out there, I don't know. We have to work all that out. And this building is 40 by 72. I don't think we're going to build one quite that big, but whatever we build will be a little bit taller. Even a 40 by 60, say, because this one is basically half game room, office, bathroom, kitchen. Half of this building is for recreational purposes. And the other half, I think a 40 by 60 would probably do it with a big overhang on one side. And we would probably end up putting the kiln right inside the building. Tell me that wouldn't be great. The middle of winter, snow's flying, and you got a couple lifts of lumber right there. You're working inside, pulling it out of the kiln, stacking, sorting, and not being affected by the weather. So those are all the things that we're working on, and I'm really excited about it. When we get closer, or when we get it, we'll go over all the details on this kiln. We may even get two, not right away, but I think this one is going to be running round the clock, year round, and it'll just have to depend on how sales do. But, one more thing before I forget, which I already did forget. People have been emailing asking when Firestarter is going to be available again. You're going to see this video on Tuesday. We'll have it back on the website this coming weekend, either Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning. And for everybody that's local, You can get it at Damball Lumber in Harmony, Pennsylvania, or Rath Farms in Calgary. We just restocked both of them, so they have plenty. That's about it. Catch you on the next one.